Hello world, we're back on playscrabble.com. Let's just see if I entered this correctly and that we're streaming on Twitch like we're supposed to be. All right, there I am in living color. Okay, gonna be with you guys for for the next couple hours, playing games as usual. At some point, we'll have to innovate, get some new content here. I was thinking about maybe setting up some kind of a grudge match, informal match, something that's a little bit different than just hanging out and taking challenges. But for the time being, hey Cameron, how are you? First in the chat. Nice to see you. Yeah, definitely need to be thinking about what other cool types of content we can bring you guys. Like maybe I could play a series of games against somebody like Josh or somebody else. Or I think it's going to take a little longer to get tournaments up and running. But of course, when we do get tournament functionality, that's going to be a whole new arena of content that we can offer. And of course, I am trying to figure out when next we can broadcast a live event like we did for Crescent City Cup. This is a cat tail. So for those that are jonesing for cat content, you'll be getting a little bit of it. But yeah, happy to. One thing that I have determined is that if you're having issues, well, first of all, if you're from North America, US or Canada, and still having issues logging onto the site, it may be because of an ad blocker, which we're trying to fix. That fix should be deployed soon, but if you are struggling to log onto this site, whitelisting it on your ad blocker will probably work. So that's something we've learned. Anyway, I'm just going to jump into a game with a computer and hang out with folks. Hey, Scrabbub, nice to see you. Yes, I had a conflict last Tuesday. I ended up streaming on Wednesday as a kind of a makeup stream. But of course, for those that have learned that Tuesday is the cat is wanting me to play on easy difficulty instead of Grandmaster. But yes, sorry I missed you, Scrabbub. Happy to take a challenge from you anytime. I'll probably warm up against a bot if this cat allows me to select the difficulty that I want. And we'll just play a little bit of a warm-up game. All right. So how is everybody doing today? Hey, Mitch, nice to see you again. All right, let's see if this screen works. Fingers crossed here. Does this screen work? Yes, it does. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Got to make sure. Hey, Chess Bunzo, nice to see you as well. So yeah, no big plan other than just turning the light on here and playing some games. I'm playing this game. Oh, looks like I'm playing this game in English US. I thought I set it to English UK, but that's totally fine. We'll play English US. I guess I need an A for infane. Oh, I should get the definition bot up. The cat is biting my hand, just so you guys can see what I deal with to bring you some great Scrabble content. The cat wants the mouse. Not too surprising, I guess, when you think about it, that it should want that. Oh, okay. So the bot is already configured to the correct channel, so it's coming shortly. If anybody wants to define stuff, that's going to be doable in just a moment. Okay, still settling in here. So I'm just going to talk through my moves, and let's hope, like last week, I missed some sad things last week, such as insurer as a natural 7-letter bingo. Hopefully we can avoid doing that. Yeah, I think in this situation, English US, it seems like something like this is what's called for. So unless I'm missing some kind of a big bingo to the S, which I really doubt. I'm pretty sure what I'm looking for here is a play forming IF. The actual question is, with these two N's on my rack, am I willing to make a play like naif here? The reason that I would do this is that I have two N's. I would love to use one of the two rather than go into next turn holding both. On the other hand, exposing the triple word score here is certainly much more opportunity for the Grandmaster bot than it has after a play like this. It's going to be very, very difficult for it to score anything at all. But I think I'm still feeling aggressive here just because this S in the triple lane is kind of a weird choice of play of cheese burning an S. I'm going to assume that that's probably not correct, but I'm going to go ahead and play this and just see what happens. So hold on, let me make sure I can see the chat here. So last week I did some polls, some poll-based games where you guys could vote in the chat for what moves you wanted to see me play. That was a lot of fun. I'm not sure I'm going to do that though. It seems not so bad if the letter on the double has to be a vowel. Absolutely. That is a great observation, and that's a huge part of why this scoring spot is not as dangerous. So if I had a play ending in IF that scored a little bit better and it placed a vowel in this dangerous spot, that might be that extra bit of scoring power that I would be offering to the computer that I would feel reluctant to make that spot. Because it is a consonant, it's not nearly as damaging, for sure. It's a really, really good point. Let me see if I can also get my little telestrator. I think, so now with IFF being played, I now have a couple different choices that are really compelling. So I have the GIF hook that scores really well in both directions. Alternatively, I can play something like judo here if I want to cover up this spot and it scores 42. This is a close one, but going back to what Chess Bunzo just pointed out, I actually think that this scoring spot is not so scary that I have to address it right now. And I could take a few extra points and a slightly more balanced bingo leave if I play jeu here. So I think this is what I'm going to play. I guess I could play judo here too if I wanted to. 49. This is close. This is a close option, but I think I'm going to do this just because DEON has nice balance and is probably going to work out pretty well for me a lot of the time, and it doesn't place a vowel under here, which ironically might be a scarier scoring spot than this open triple. So maybe it's better to play judo, but this should be okay. I'm obviously always the caveat of I could be missing something much more snazzy, but I'm just going by instinct. And of course now I will have this available at the very least. Not using the keyboard, again, because of this factor. So dragging the tiles onto the board is much easier. Okay. Avid is the play. I don't think this D gives me anything. A T would be detonate and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure the D doesn't give me anything new. It's not... I don't love the idea of hanging an E in the triple lane in this manner in such an easy to use spot, but it's 65 points for me, and I'm pretty sure I have to take that here. Let me just make sure I have this up in the right spot. Oh, I think it already is in the right spot. Let's see. Does that look correct? Sure, that's pretty close to the right angle here. I like to be able to telestrate on these boards. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, so we're going to play Nematode and see what we get. Oh, man. Okay, so we like seeing the blank. There's got to be some stuff in here. I can see that there will be some 8s. The first instinct I have is that I can play unwarmed or something to this D of nematode, but I bet there's other stuff going on. Hey, Sinbad, nice to see you. Thank you very much. I'm going to do my best to play decently well against these the bots, and of course I hope to play some flesh and blood human challengers at some point, which I think at least Scrabbub has said he would like to play. Anybody else should feel free to, if you are situated in the US or Canada, of course, still a little bit of work to do before we can get folks from the quote-unquote rest of the world, which is a very Amero-centric way of viewing things, but nevertheless, very soon it should be a full launch. All right, so now my play of Unwarmed got blocked, so I guess I have to think, what are the other 8s? Lukewarm. Sitting through this. O. Do I have a 7-letter word here? So, I mean, whenever you've got that blank, it complicates things. It makes you have to permute, go through the alphabet. I don't think I'm not feeling like I have a play with these letters here, with these suffixes. It just feels like the WU combination is getting in the way. That combination, if you watch enough of these Scrabble streams, you will hear me and many other people belly aching about this WU combination. It's just very weak. Very, very few words contain both of those. But I feel like there might be something here. Let me not look at the chat while I look. Stand by. I'm going to try to find it, but my gut tells me that there's probably not something here. It's funny that I say my gut tells me that because I'm considering playing wame here, which is an archaic word for your gut, your tummy. Oh, hey, a critter, nice to see you. Watching lots of Babel Royale, seeing a critter competing very, very effectively in that game. Hey, Lola, nice to see you as well. The cat emotes from my channel there. This cat, so Fitz the cat, the middle emote of the 3 that you see from Lola there. This guy just has to be up here. I have a heating pad for him. There's this whatever orthopedic heating pad that I put out so that I put it on low so he can enjoy sitting on this nice hot pad instead of come up here and sit on the cold, weird mouse pad. Anyway, I don't know if there's a bingo here. Somebody can shout it out if you see it. I'm tempted to play Wame here. I could also play Maw. Either of these seem reasonable. Water, something with water. I don't think that's water. Water bum. Is that what you have if you use a bidet? I just don't know. So I'm tempted actually to play Maw just because keeping my E is kind of nice for bingoing. It increases my chance of bingoing a bit. This does imbalance my leave a little bit. Yes, I see the time. I'm blabbing. I'm blabbing a lot. Let's keep the E. This is kind of weird. All right, well, what are you going to do? Look what I drew. So I drew this awesome stuff here. I bet there's some crazy thing that goes all the way down here. What could it be? Something with like a U, R, E. Okay, never mind. Lukewarm and unwarm were the only 8s. Okay, that makes me feel pretty good. Makes me feel good. All right. In the interest of time, I bet, man, is there some play that puts the H in this good spot? I can just play Thunders or something. Oh, no, I can't do that. I can do this. Surely I have something better than that, right? Something like this. What would go here? An O? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I can fit anything going along there. All right. Oh, Hounders. Hounders. That's better. Hounders is better because at least I get the H on the double. Oh my God! Look at these. So no shortage of good tiles for me here against the Grandmaster computer. But as you guys have pointed out, I have only 4 minutes left, so I have to stop blabbing so much. Still the scariest opponent, and I don't know about that. I'm pretty scared of some of the other. I'm pretty scared of Axer Typo, scared of Binac. I'm scared of a lot of people. So as long as some people are scared of me, then I guess it's okay. We're all scared of each other in a wholesome way. All right, I drew the Z. I don't think I'm very likely to have a Z play that goes here. I'm certainly thinking about like some kind of big extension that goes all the way up there. I think ultimately, though, I'm probably going to play this for 45. This seems pretty good. I don't think I have anything super strong anywhere else on the board. I would have had oh my God, look at this. So I use up my E and I promptly draw a bingo that seems pretty unlikely to be blocked. I'm thinking Grandmaster Computer is very likely to play a parallel here, or I was going to say a spot here, and sure enough, that's what happens. I don't even have to think about this move. We just move on. Yeah, seeing the respect when people feint at each other, yes, for sure. And there's definitely a really strong sense in Battle Royale of like, can you fake out someone, and sort of get better position on them even when you don't have the goods. And I sometimes forget that, not even as scary as a lot of opponents can be in that game, you have to realize that not every time are they going to have the best possible tiles. In fact, a pretty solid amount of the time, people don't have very good tiles, so you can take advantage of it. Don't worry, Dustin. Dustin, I have to say, the games that you've played very bravely, I might add, against me and Axer Typo, like we've drawn amazingly well in pretty much all of those games. You're going to get a game where you draw as well as we have, and it's going to end poorly for us. And that could be today if you challenge me today. Hey, Jeremy. Yeah, Jeremy, a very frequent opponent of mine on Scrabble Go. Jeremy has beaten me before. Yeah, I mean, it's frankly amazing given that, I am a national champion level player, that Jeremy, who is not a tournament player, but a very, very solid player in his own right. If you just learn the basics of strategy, learn a few words that you can use here and there, you can beat national champion level players in Scrabble. I think that's kind of cool, actually. I like that about Scrabble. You do have to get to a certain point, though. I'm not going to say that somebody can play their first ever game of Scrabble and do something like that, but it's actually, you can get to that point relatively quickly. All right, I don't see a great play here. I want to do something through this U, of course, because it seems like the scariest threat, but I can't. So this is not valid here. This is not valid here. I'm pretty sure the best thing I can do is something like this. Maybe there's something better, but we're just going to play blunt. Smoking a blunt. Yes. Cynical Lad says, takes me 25 minutes to play a single move. No question. Scrabble is complicated, and I definitely think that for me, a big part of studying the dictionary, you can think of that as like, I want to become really good at Scrabble and I'm going to study the dictionary. But actually, the way that I've always thought about it is more, I want to study the dictionary so that more of my Scrabble experience can be the good stuff, which I consider to be strategic considerations and, permuting endgames and all of that sort of stuff. the more you study the dictionary, the more time you have to spend on all that good stuff in Scrabble, which I have quickly discovered is my favorite part of the game. So it's great to feel like you have awesome word knowledge and all this other stuff. I'm just going to play something here. But that's kind of how I approach it. And of course, studying the dictionary and learning to find all of your words super quick is a huge, maybe the biggest thing that you can do to help your Scrabble game early on. But it helps more so than that, right? Yes, it makes you a more effective player, but you also find yourself having more fun playing because the stuff you're doing is not, oh, is this a word? I don't know which word to play here. And instead is, okay, here are the words that I see really quickly. Let's choose between them. That's the fun part. So I'm going to play Veggies here because it's that nice V out in space blocking off pretty much the last spot on the board. I guess it is still possible for a bingo to go down here, but actually from this pool, I'm not seeing it. So a pretty comprehensive beatdown of Grandmaster Computer. Again, Grandmaster Computer, not the strongest opponent among all of the bot playing entities out there, but it's strong enough. It finds a lot of good plays. Lola says having more words means more fun options. Also one of the reasons I like Collins, for sure. That's definitely one school of thought. I tend to agree that, there's kind of a fun, more escapes that you have. But definitely that's sort of a different strokes for different folks type of thing as well. So I would never say that somebody is quote unquote wrong for feeling a certain way about which dictionary they like. All right, so computer has AGINN. I have to be careful if I put a letter out in space that it can't. I wonder if I have some play here, actually. Almost something like this, but maybe not. Okay, I am just going to play Payor, and probably GS will go out somewhere next turn. So, yeah, Jeremy, very good at the arena, which I haven't been playing arena much lately. I went through a phase of playing a ton of arena on Scrabble Go, and I just, I haven't. Oh, blunting, very nice. I didn't see that. All right, so we'll just play gas and finish the game. Yeah, so that was decent. I don't think, not yet do I feel like, at some point we're going to be able to review these games and take a look. Oh, there's a game from Lola. We can definitely take this game. Lola is definitely a dangerous player, somebody who could easily defeat me. So let's just see what we draw. All right, she's going first too. So yeah, defense is fun, absolutely. So if you're somebody that you really like those tight tactical battles, it might be that the U.S. Lexicon offers that, but I can definitely say that the U.K. Lexicon certainly will give you that as well. So I do think that the differences between the lexicons are somewhat overstated. You get all the same good stuff that you love about Scrabble in different, maybe very slightly different doses, but I don't think it's substantively super different. So, all right, I have a nice overlap here. I have the O that's going to sit on top of the K. Lexicographers may wince at "och" being a valid word, but nevertheless, I think this will probably be a decent play for me here. Yes. Okay. So let me just say something about learning. So Cynicalad says learning some high probability sevens. And for anyone that says, well, what does that mean? Basically, you look at the tile bag, right? Look at these letters, and you see a lot of A's. You see a lot of E's. You see a lot of I's. You see a lot of N's, R's, some T's, right? There are a couple T's on the board here. And probability is basically when you pluck 7 tiles out of the bag, what are your chances of drawing a 7-letter word? So the words that contain all those nice letters where you see so many of them in the set are considered to be high probability. So that is when you're starting out from, looking at the mountaintop of Scrabble and you're saying to yourself, what is the quickest way I can get there? What's the biggest bang for my buck that I can get? Those high probability words are a great way to start because they just show up more often. You can pull them out of the bag so many different times. So, words like retinas, right? I have this joke where I'm obsessed with retinas as my favorite word. Well, you see that word show up all the time. No, I pronounce "ak" that way completely facetiously because you would think that if it is an acronym, okay, it would not be in the dictionary. So because it is in the dictionary, I jokingly refer to it as "ak," but knowing full well that it actually means okay. So that's me being me. Yes, but the thing I want to say about the high probability words is Lola is a person. Lola was just hanging out in the chat, and she graciously offered to play a game on here. Lola is a tournament player, a very, very solid player in her own right. So not your usual challenger of, if you hop into the pool. But those high probability words that show up a lot, they run together because you're seeing so many of the same letters over and over. So I find that they are actually the hardest to learn. When you start going into the lower probability words that start to have an H in them, a C in them, a W in them, a P in them, right? Those letters start to distinguish themselves more in your mind as you're studying them. Those high probability words, they give you the most bang for their buck, but they're also, in my opinion, the toughest to learn as a group. So it only gets easier. So if you can just gut it out at the start, you'll find that things will get easier and easier over time. All right. So I would love it if there was like a fly word here, but I don't believe. Like knit fly is not a word. Bin fly would be a wonderful word. I don't think I have anything like that here. I think I'm going to have to content myself with something like, I could play nifty. I think snifty is a word. So if I want to set up this S, I could do it that way. That's kind of nice. I think I'm still favoring flinty just to give myself more chances at drawing vowels that I need. So yeah, I'm not sure which, I don't know. BL does have synergy to it though. The BL combination, this starts to look really good if I draw something like AB to this. This is close. I could go back and forth on this one. This is a really nuanced play. I wonder if I have anything here too. If I just play lib or lift, that's kind of appealing. 24 points is pretty good. Same score for this. I think this is super, super close. I'm going to go ahead and play I'm going back and forth every time. All right, let's just go ahead and play. Let's play this. Got to play something. Oh, man, is this a word? Yeah, it is. Oh, man. So that's very unlikely to... I think this spot is going to be where Lola's eyes are drawn on this move. So I don't think I'm going to get my cool bingo that I just drew, but we'll see. We'll wait with bated breath. So much easier to see baritone over something like resonate. Absolutely. That's completely true. And the reason for that is actually pretty simple. It's that the B, right? The B is the highest scoring tile on that rack. It scores 3. And there is a tendency of a lot of those highest scoring tiles, like the B, the F, the C, the P, right? My play does get blocked by Chin, which Lola has to get rid of the Q if she has it there, so it makes total sense. But those highest scoring tiles love to be the first letter of the word in which they appear. That's just a linguistic quirk of the English language. And your brain does so much better when it can lock in that first letter and in particular the last letter as well. So if you are able to take a set of letters and figure out what is likely to be the first letter of this word and what is likely to be the last letter of this word, that helps all the other letters fall into place so much better. And that's not just me saying that. That's like cognitive science backing that up. So that is why a word like baritone is so much easier, and resonate, on the other hand, has nothing to hang your hat on. You can't, first of all, the S in resonate is not at the end of the word. Your brain always wants the S to be at the end because that's where an S is very frequently seen. And in resonate, it's not there. So for me, one of the hardest words for me to learn to anagram was scenario. Scenario. Totally normal word. Scenario. There's so many words in Scrabble that are weirder than that. But scenario was really hard because it starts with an S. Your brain isn't loving that. And it ends in an O, which is extremely idiosyncratic. Very few words end in O. And your brain just doesn't want to go there when it's unscrambling that. So it's really interesting to me that, which words end up being the trickiest to anagram. That's one for me that I found super difficult. Okay, the question of, and okay, so Arlong, there we go. You can see I'm getting backed up in the chat there. Yeah, exactly. So the indicator for what the valid word is, if you're playing a word validation game, you know what? Maybe that's a mistake. That might be a bug. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, word challenge would not be this way. Word validation automatically validates your word. No bug, sorry, I'm totally wrong. So if I want to play this, the thing that you're looking for is this little green pip. So it turns green when the word is valid, and it's red when it's not. The other indicator, if for an accessibility purposes, is you can see the border of the word is also highlighted. So if you have any issue with that, it's not only the green pip, but also the word gets this border highlighted, which does not happen if the word is invalid. So you're looking for red and border when you're checking to see if a word is valid. All right, I got to play something here. I have two S's. I definitely feel like a play in this spot could be decent. It doesn't score great, though. So let me see if I can come up with something better. I don't have an I to play here. This is a very aggressive play, but putting the B in the triple lane doesn't scare me super much. I could regret it, but odds are not great that Lola will have anything that much better than maybe 25 to 30 points. Do I have almost fan sub? That would be kind of fun. That's sort of one of the more newfangled words. Oh, maybe I should play something like that. Does this make sense? 24 again. It gives me NS. It doesn't put a letter out in the triple lane. Maybe that's, what was the other play? That's 24. This is 27. 3 extra points. Flip a coin here. I like the extra points. Opening the triple is going to give back a lot of those points. I should just pick something and go with it. It would be great if I could come up with, I guess I could do this. If I don't want to open anything, but I have to keep a U, which I really don't like to do. This is much more defensive. It opens nothing. Practically not. Well, it opens a decent scoring spot, but that spot would then give me a triple back. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just play this, just feeling like it's maybe just worth the extra points to do that. Oh my God. Look at this. So I just drew a surprising bingo there containing VW. But look at that. Okay, so after all that, I have a bingo, but Lola blocks it with her own bingo, and I don't think I have a backup spot for it. Oof. Okay, that's tough. That's tough. Um, that hurts. Nice play by Lola. Okay. So what do I do then? Do I just play Wayward here? That's very uninspiring, but at least it sets my S up in a decent way that maybe if I don't bingo, I get a good scoring spot there. It's not that easy to parallel this productively. Thanks to the V, again, the V taking nothing parallel makes it kind of safe. I'm using up gobs of time, so I'll just play this and hope for the best. Oh, man, look at this. What do I do with this? No, that was not a stream snipe. That was not a stream snipe. That's a perfectly normal play. I don't even mind that much. But yeah. So I have this. This kind of nice. GS isn't very good. Do I have like a play like that would be great, but I don't think I have anything like this. Grabbus. Could see that being Asperg, yeah. Unfortunately not. So Lola's up and she's yet to play, so that's not great for me. All right, she bombs her J pretty hard, so I gotta play quickly here too, or else I run the risk of losing on time. But I don't think I have anything particularly better than something like this through the B of Bunas. Maybe there's some. Maybe I should play Garb. Oh wait, I need to think about here too. Like Bursa. Maybe that's probably worth doing. Bursa is probably worth it. It's 38. I keep an S. Board is still not completely closed after this, so it's certainly not very good. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Uh-oh. Not looking good. Yes, keeping the G. Hide axe or typo. We can't have him see this. I did keep the G. I'm not sure if I had a better play that used up the G. So a critter, I'm not sure dwarved is valid. That's my if dwarved is a word, then that's probably a miss. But I think my gut tells me that it would only be dwarfed. Yeah, let's check. Let's check here. Okay, there it is. So yeah, the bot confirming it. Yeah, I feel like it could easily be valid just because why not, right? Many F's change into V's. F's in the chat. All right, I don't have a ton of time here, so we gotta think. Maybe I just play this here. It scores well. This is not a very good leave, but that draw wasn't great, so I don't think I am likely to have anything super good through this B. The longest word I see is this, which doesn't hit anything. Yeah, I guess I'll play this. Do I not have any way of going all the way through? Like Wario? Yeah, I don't think so. Oh man. Okay. So I'm just I just have to stay the course here. I'm not down by that much, but my rack is in bad shape here. So I'm going to need something to go better than this. I'm not really sure. What can I even do here? Just Jin? Ugh. Gina. Yeah, I don't know. Botter15, just a very knowledgeable person in the chat. Well, I mean, it is somebody that knows the dictionary very, very, very well. Yeah, Waruigi, making a few other things, or Waryuji. I'm not sure what actually fits in that spot. Okay, Nice play. 27 for Lola, blocking off this open B without giving me anything back because the D only goes here. If she were to have played a 6-letter word, putting a letter right there, it might have opened up more space. In actuality, it doesn't open anything. So this is a grim situation, but we're going to stay the course. I think I have to use at least one of the two Gs. This does not feel like a good play. Maybe I have a play here. Something like that would be great just to get all this crap off, but it's not valid. Fungi, is this worth playing? This is very uninspiring. It's only 9 points, too, whereas I do get a boatload more points for this. All right. What about this? Is this something I want to do? 13 points opens up a little more space on the board at a cost of leaving 2 eyes with 5 more unseen. I can draw a third eye. Great for seeing the future or for doing drugs. Not so good in Scrabble. All right, let's just go ahead and do this, and hope for something better. Oh yeah, drag and drop. Yes, I'm sorry. I don't mean to troll by using drag and drop like a newbie battle royale player. I actually was just in the habit of doing that, and now the cat is gone, so I can use my keyboard now. I have unobstructed access to this keyboard, so I will be typing from here on out. I apologize. That was frustrating to watch. All right, let's see. I'm not losing by that much. My rack is not great, but it's gotten a little better because I just drew an S, so that was really helpful. Or did I have an S? I don't think so. I think I had... Did I just draw TT? I think I must have drawn TT there. All right, punt for Lola. This actually is kind of nice. That scores pretty well. And the leave isn't terrible either. Let's go ahead and do that. Ooh. Okay, so my tiles are getting better pretty rapidly here. What do I have here? Even this is pretty nice. 41 points in that spot is pretty good. Do I have some other... If I had an A, I could just plop Hazy down. That would be nice. Oh, maybe Lutz. This could be worth a thought as well. 35. Both blanks out. Both blanks out. So if you're defining stuff in the chat and you see that that weird symbol, I don't know what it's called. I call it the Scrabble players call this symbol the octothorpe. Yeah, I don't know if there's any other word for that. Yeah, as the critter says, octothorpe. But that word means, okay. So that looks bad for me. At the same time, though, Lola didn't use a blank when she did this, and I have this if I want this. That's 86 points. I also have this word. Same score. I don't think it's very different. I don't think these plays are significantly different, so I'm just going to play this, and okay, there we go. There we go. I don't think I missed anything there. I'm pretty sure I have to just play through that eye quick with the bingo that I have, but now... So this is scary. The game is almost even. I only have 1 minute and 17 seconds left. This is gonna... Okay, so that spot, we knew that was very likely to get played in, and now I'm in some trouble with actually fitting a word on the board. One thing I could do is just play this and set up a spot for an S. If I draw a bingo with sped, it will at least fit in that spot. I don't really have any other hope to bingo here, though. So if I do this... This is kind of deceptively annoying to block, actually, for Lola. Okay, I did not draw anything ending in S, I don't believe. I also don't think I drew anything ending in F either. But the fact that this spot is here, I could end up playing something like this on a future turn and create multiple spots. A lot of it depends on what Lola does. She could easily do some kind of extension play that tries to block the S hook on ped, and maybe that gives me a bingo if one of the two letters is good enough. That's not out of the question. So this is not... Oh, I guess I should consider, like, fen. Is there a word like... Krenel fen or something? I don't think so. So I'm in some serious trouble here. I am in trouble, but it's not that easy from Lola's perspective to proceed here. There are ways that she could try to block this that give me stuff back. Even plays here. Even plays if she were to do something like, rook in this spot. Pretend the E is an O. That might give me something through the R that I didn't have before that. Scrabble players in chat have the term hook. That's a great question. So basically, when you have a word that's on the board, right? So let's say eel. So eel is on the board. Any letter, any single letter that you can add to either end of this word is considered a hook for this word. So if eel is on the board and I make a play with an R in that spot going down, the R is considered to be what's called a front hook because it goes in front of the word that's on the board. On the other hand, if eel is on the board and I play something like earns, right? Let's say I play this and I put an S at the end. The S is known as a back hook, and back hooks are much more common because of the way English is inflected. So English has many more, orders of magnitude, 3 or 4 more times as many back hooks as front hooks, because what do we do in English when we want to pluralize something? We add an S to it. What do we want to do when we want to make an adjective into a comparative, or what is that? What do you call it? Comparative, or superlative, right? But certainly if you have blue on the board and you put an R at the end of it, that you've made that a comparative adjective. And if you have blues on the board and you add a T to it, you've made it a superlative adjective. So tons and tons of hooks in the English language come at the end. But then, of course, you have a whole bunch more words like this where you can put real, as you said. Peel is another one. So sweatshirt is bluer. Yes, there's not long ago, I was a one sweatshirt Andy. I only had one gray sweatshirt, and my wife Allison was like, "We need to up your sweatshirt game," and we got me 5 new. So I now have this nice blue one, I have a purple one, I have a red one, I have a whole bunch more. So hopefully I'm not known as the blue sweatshirt guy. Okay, this is interesting. So if I do something like this is very vulnerable to a play right here. If Lola has a play in this spot, it blocks my sped and it blocks... But the only way she could do a play like this is if she has an E, right? So because it's an R, the only way that something fits here is with an E, and that might let me end a word in a vowel if I play something like that. So another way of doing this would be this. But maybe I don't want to do that because she could put an A there, which would be a little more difficult for me to overlap. I see I just took a time penalty. This is, this is tricky. I think I'm okay with this, even though in general the R is a better tile for bingoing than either the L or the N, but I think I like the fact that she cannot block both of these spots very easily after this. Let's try it. Ooh, okay, so that's, oddly, I have a bingo here. I have a bingo with an S, but it doesn't end the way I want it to. So flensed is a word. I am very, very doubtful that I'm going to get to play flensed here. I'm pretty sure Lola is going to block this spot and force me to have something with ped, which I don't have. So we'll just have to see what her block does, right? It's not impossible, depending on how she tries to block this spot, it's not impossible that I will still get a bingo down subsequently. So I don't think this is great. Everyone knows the best S hook is princes. Yes. Okay. So there are some wonderful words like that, right? So princes takes another S for princess. But there are a number of really, really cool words like that. Like here's one of my favorites, zebras. But what about this one? Right? Saltines. That's clever. So if you're starting a game from scratch and you play something like saltines right here, not here. Sorry, saltine here. That's what I mean. So you would play saltine right here. And when your opponent bingos with something with saltines, you can surprise them with saltiness, probably, because people aren't thinking about that. So that's kind of cool. I like stuff like that a lot. Princes is another one, just like that. But the scary thing about princes to know is this, right? Princes is like this. Wait, hold on. It's all caps. I don't want that. You got to be careful of this for princes. That can come back and get you there. Okay. This looks like a winning play for Lola. I don't think I have anything that still fits. I would need something ending in a vowel. End leaf does not quite play. And oh, wait, is this a word? No. There's some word that's kind of like that. I don't remember what it is. Needful doesn't fit. Flensed. I think that's going to be a winner for Lola here. I guess I should be trying to win this endgame. I might be able to win this endgame without... if I hadn't taken time penalties, I probably could win this, but I don't... Maybe not. Okay, well, anyway, let's see. What can we do here? Just this, and then go out with something? Probably not even. Yeah, this isn't gonna get the job done. And filed. Something ending in O. Yeah, I don't think it's happening for me here. Okay. Okay, Lola also has pretty good tiles. So I think she's a threat to... Is she a threat to go out? This is where having a little more time would be helpful, but that's okay. I'll do this, I suppose. This might be a reasonable spot to play in. All right. So despite, I think the score penalty is not deducted yet. So I actually, even though the score looks close, I actually have 30 fewer points than this. So it's not even close. So she's got me here for sure. Yeah, okay, a couple other words for you guys. I've looked at this list before. Look at this. And look at that. I think I messed this up too because I probably was thinking I was going to play Flame, but of course she's going to do that. Do I have anything to play here? I guess not. Flens. Yeah, I don't have anything very good here either. Okay, I'll just do this. So, yeah, Procurus, there's another one. Here's another one. So, procures, obviously. You would not think that takes an S. This is another one. So, nervines, that word takes an S. So, all right, well done, Lola. I come up short. Lola beats me. Nicely done. That was an interesting game. I think for me, I'm not sure what my inflection point was. There were a few weird moves in the mid game where I easily could imagine myself doing something different. But otherwise, it was just a well played, close game throughout. So that was a good one. All right, game from Scrabble coming in. This one is probably going to be US. Yes, it is. Okay. So let's move on and play another one here. We're going to US English from UK. So it should be pretty easy. Also, it's on word validation, which is helpful. I can, if I have any doubt of a word, I can just pop it on the board and it'll help me out. But I still feel like for the most part, I can switch back and forth relatively seamlessly. For example, I'm pretty sure the first play that I'm supposed to play here is Pitaya. Of course, it is my opponent's turn, so we'll have to see. Scrabbub added a little extra time to think, so it'll take a little more time. Patchy asks, how difficult is it for me to remember which words are in which dictionaries? I think there are certain, so I've given this as a challenge before. Like there are certain patterns of words that are absolutely impossible to make sense of. So what I mean by that is, I'll give you an example. This is maybe my favorite example. If I go to my, that's not what I want. What do I want here? I want this document. Okay, now I'm going to give you a list of words in the chat. And I think I gave this on the Babel Royale Discord once before. So if you've seen this before, I apologize. But, okay, here is the test. One of these words is UK English only. Okay, so I just posted a list of words in the chat. One of those words is UK English only. Who can guess? Who can guess which it is? You can use the bot if you want. You can use the bot. When you have a guess, feel free to define it in the chat. You can use the define bot. And when you see the octothorpe, you have the answer. You have the right answer. All right. Oh, man, I almost have rapidity here. Do I really not have? Like vapidity, rapidity. Not quite. Do I have something here? I feel like this is a rack that there could easily be bingos that just escape my notice if I'm not careful. Also, I got to think about if there's a double-double through this R. I have to think really briefly. Is there any 7-letter word through this R? I don't think so. All right, so I'm thinking that what I'm supposed to do here is something like yap, actually. Vroom is a nice opening play by Scrabbub, I might add. Has somebody found it yet? Wow, nobody's found it. Nobody's found it yet. Nobody has found, I promise you, one of the words that I posted before is Collins only, UK English only. I promise you. Oh, actually, this would be better anyway. Okay, let's do that. That's pretty good, I think. Unless I missed something much better, of course. Wow, it's like one of the last ones that you got. There it is. Okay, congratulations, Asian Pyro. You have discovered it. Maxillar is UK English only. All of the other words on that list are US English. Why? Right? Why would that be the case? I have no answer for you. I have no answer. Why would that word be UK only and the rest would be like that? So that's just one example. That's my favorite example, but I literally have a document here that has as many of these as I have encountered. right? I'm just looking at it right now. It's just like this. It's like this unholy tome of just brutally awful knowledge. Truly, truly nasty. Okay, let me give you guys another one. All right. Oh, a play has come in. Bifid, very nice. Okay, so the thing about this is that it takes an A hook. So immediate. Oh, I guess it doesn't. Okay, maybe I was sure it did. Okay, so that's really. Okay, this is interesting. What's the what's the timestamp here? This needs to be looked at here. We're at the exactly an hour mark into the stream. Okay, very good. Let me just make a note of that. I'm gonna Slack myself this information. So like 1 hour into the stream, Bifida should be good, but isn't. Okay, well, good to know. And there we have our plug for the site, right, as we discover that. Okay, so now I got to figure out something else. Not that I have a great play here, actually. I mean, this would have been probably good in UK English, but that's doubly not playable here. So I have an F that fits here. This could be what I want to do. Almost. I don't quite have a way to go all the way down here, but that would be wonderful if I did. So maybe just like fad. Ugh. I don't like that very much. There must be something a little bit better. Hey, Gerhard, thank you so much for that really kind comment. Really appreciate it. That is a really, really nice thing to say. I'm glad to have you aboard. Feel free to chime in, ask questions, anything that comes to mind. Happy to hear from you. Or if you prefer to lurk, that's great too. Hope you enjoy the show. But that is very, very, very kind of you to say. Okay, so given that I don't think I have a good F play that goes all the way down parallel, right? So if I want to make the highest points that I can get with a parallel play, hey, Sir Fink, and thank you very much. We got the follower alerts going. Yeah, what the dictionary is, no bifida. Yeah, we'll have to investigate that. Sir Fink, primarily motivated by your desire to see the stats or whatever the parameters of the game at all times, we have this element right here. That's always available, so you can see until I put it behind all the other stuff. Of course, I can hide it. I can put it wherever I want. This is really behind the curtain stuff right here. Okay, but I don't think I have a good F play parallel here, so I may be forced to do something like this. This isn't a play that makes me very excited, but at least it uses the W and puts the Z on the triple letter, and it keeps balanced letters, and it keeps 2 vowels and 3 consonants. I don't love the synergy between D, F, T, but it might be reasonable to play that. English US, I think, is synonymous with Merriam-Webster. Yeah, so clearly there's some issue, though. Maybe this is one of the, there are a bunch of words that are not valid in Merriam-Webster that are valid in the NASPA dictionary. Maybe this is one of those that I don't know about. I would think bifida is not one. The ones that I know are not in Merriam-Webster that are in NASPA are words like yes and was and stuff like that. W-U-Z. I would not have expected bifida to be one of those. All right, let's go ahead and play this. One last look around. I don't think I'm missing anything huge here. I don't think there's, I would love it if there was a nice solid 5-letter word down to the triple, but I don't believe there is one. So let's just play whiz and move on. Okay. All Are there Merriam-only words? I think there may be some weirdness of Merriam in longer words than 9 letters, but don't quote me on that. I'm not actually sure about that. When is the Babel dictionary getting put on this site? Wordnik, I don't know. I guess we have to see how much they would want to charge. But yeah, I mean, it's a valid question, Dustin. So basically, the one big thing that is kind of working against word games in general is that there is no accepted standard for all word games in English worldwide, right? So we have this, fragmentedness between, oh, hey, I started out playing Babel Royale. That uses Wordnik. I started out playing Collins. I started out playing Merriam. I started out playing NASPA word list, which is very close to Merriam, but not quite the same. Or I started out playing Boggle somewhere that uses a completely different lexicon, right? Like there are many, many apps that have pretty passionate user bases, word games, that use different lexicons, to say nothing of like the Wordle dictionary, right? So the Wordle dictionary consists of, you can guess anything that's in Collins, but the answers are all a subset of words that are quote unquote normal words. So there's definitely fragmentation it's working against Scrabble and all other word games in ways that like chess doesn't have to deal with, right? Like chess has its tiles and that's it, which is kind of a beauty of that game, a universality of that game. So we have language barriers, not just with other languages, but within our own language. So, but there is something that is just wonderful and magical about playing this particular game, that regardless of what dictionary you get exposed to at first, you quickly realize, like, wow, this is really fun. I like finding words from jumbled up letters, right? Like that's fun. Like that's just something that's really enjoyable, and that transcends all of those boundaries, I think. Okay, so this scores 22. The main issues that I have in this rack are I have 2 A's and I have an F, which doesn't really mesh well with any of the other letters on the rack. So do I have, maybe if bifida isn't a word, maybe kifida is a word. Nope. Something with IDA would be kind of nice, but I don't think I have almost like didactic. That would be wonderful if I could play didactic. Not quite, though. En passant, yeah, the en passant rule in Scrabble. I don't know. I'm not sure what that would, look like in this game. But what about this? 27 DT is not great, but at least there's an open E to play through. This game isn't going. Oh wait, I always have to think about like. Maybe I'm supposed to just play this, actually. Okay, a lot of different choices here. The reason that I would play this is that if I was going to keep any combination of letters in the hopes of bingoing on the next turn, it would probably be these 4. I would be using my 2 higher scoring consonants, which we know the reason these tiles score more points is that they appear in fewer words. So when you're trying to bingo as quickly as you can, you want to shed these tiles and keep your lower point tiles, because more words are going to materialize onto your rack that play through this E, this R. I think I'm probably leaning towards that, but let's just, what haven't I looked at here? The V. So I can't play Vifta in this. I keep saying I'm going to use the keyboard, but I haven't been doing that. Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards this. It does make an E hook, but it doesn't really help anyone to play cafe here. So let's try this. Let's try this. And there you go. So as you can see, I kept those letters. I drew 3 more good low point letters, and I have this ready to go on the next turn. Or I have this in a completely different spot on the board. So to my point, keeping those low point letters pairs very well with other low point letters, which you can see the letters I just drew out of the bag. NEI. That's a very good draw if you're trying to bingo. So it's going to work out for me. I will bingo on the next turn. So I can look at chat now while we wait. So if you're about to play somewhere, but your opponent plays in the same spot, you can play there on the next turn only. Nice. So if you have like a pre-move queued up or something. Other dictionary options on this site, yes. So there will be 6 main language dictionaries. However many English language dictionaries they are, that counts as 1. Then you're going to have French, German, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, and I think the latest dictionary to come is going to be Turkish as well. So we're going to have at least 6 and maybe soon 7 different playable languages on here. But I'm pretty sure that like Woogles has most of that, if not more. So it's not like a competitive advantage that we have that many languages, but it's, for those that want to play in other languages, which I have not been. I should say I did play with Allison, my wife. We played together against Josh in French, which he did beat us. But Allison bingoed in French, which I was very proud. Proud hubby. Estonian, yeah. I don't know how the size of the Estonian Scrabble playing audience. I don't know. Not sure. Yeah, Wordnik could be. I mean, Wordnik could be good to add. Alternatively, I don't know. I think maybe part of the reason that Wordnik was chosen was that licensure was easier. But I think it's possible that we could figure out a way to get James and Frank, the developers of Babel Royale. We might be able to grease the wheels at some point to get them Collins, which would be, given that Wordnik is very close to Collins, it might be nice to just get that dictionary there. Is it all void challenge? Nope, there is. You can play, you can use challenge, but I don't think point challenge is in yet. I think it's just turn. You just lose your turn. So yes, you can play either automatic validation or with challenges on. And maybe we can make a special dispensation for Ayaya. Ayaya has to always be good in Babel Royale no matter what. So if we use Collins plus Ayaya, we now have the Babel Royale dictionary, I think. That word is sacred to Babblers. Okay, what was the play there? Exchanging. Yes, it's definitely a ticket. I've seen it on the agenda to have the exchanges. You can see it doesn't yet tell you how many tiles were exchanged. We're aware of that. That's coming. That's very important information. Exchanging 1 tile is very different than exchanging all 7 tiles. Okay, Daintier scores 80. Vanity scores 78. I think in general, I would probably favor extra points. In addition, placing the D out in space like this creates the doomsday scenario of a triple-triple, which scores upwards of 100 points, sometimes even 200 or 300 points if you have a Z or a Q in it. And Daintier doesn't really offer that. The only issue, I guess, is that there is kind of a scary spot for an X. The Q doesn't really play productively here. It would just plop down for 31. So I think Daintier is going to be the play. All right. So first bingo goes to me against Scrabbub. He's hanging in there. This has been a super close game, so definitely don't consider myself to be out of the woods yet, but nice to get the first bingo down. We'll see how Scrabbub responds. What does Ayaya mean? So I feel like Ayaya, somebody that's more Twitch friendly, feel free to correct me on this, but I've seen that be spammed in different people's Twitch chats before, and I feel like I want to say that it has some kind of an anime component to it or something where people are, is this okay. I actually, now I'm out of my depth, but I feel like that is when I have seen it be spammed, just when anime has been discussed on those Twitch channels. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Again, I am a boomer. I can't be expected to know things like Pog, Ayaya, You know, anything starting with Peepo. Okay, a critter says, "Look up the YouTube video. I intensifies." And I don't think we fixed it so that links are postable on this chat yet. So if anybody digs up that video, I don't think you'll be able to post the link. But maybe that's how we can learn about the lore of I. Pox, yeah. Yeah, that's the true test of whether you're a boomer or not. When you hear the word pog, do you think of Twitch or do you think of those little things that you slam on the ground? Um, I mean, now I think of Twitch, unfortunately, and my brain has been addled to the point where Twitch has taken over. Um, yeah, so that island. I don't know if that island is how it's defined in the Wordnik dictionary, but Looking at Rock says, I have a jar full of old pogs on my desk. That is indeed pog. That is indeed poggers. To bring it full circle, I consider it to be pog that you have a jar of pogs. Nice. The Simpsons. Yeah, my Simpsons. I always feel like I missed out on The Simpsons because this, not to throw my mom under the bus here with this, but she saw like advertisements for The Simpsons with Bart saying duh and Homer saying though, and she thought that it was a show that, in her words, The Simpsons, quote unquote, glorifies stupidity. And she wouldn't let me watch it for that reason, which obviously now we know that The Simpsons is one of the cleverest, most intelligently written shows that's ever come along, right? So, not my mom took an L on that one and said, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I wouldn't let you watch The Simpsons." So my Simpsons knowledge is generally pretty anemic, but maybe that's something I can rectify. I guess it's kind of scary, though, to try, like, how many seasons of The Simpsons are there? Aren't there, like, 40 seasons of it? So it's like, if I was going to go back and start that journey, it is a little scary to contemplate watching that many seasons of The Simpsons. But maybe I should do it. 32. Okay, that's a fair number. That is a fair number. All right, so Scrabbub plays G in the center of the board. I have a couple of issues, so trying to diagnose what is my situation here. I'm winning the game. We like that I'm winning the game, of course. I have a rack that has some tiles that we like. We like ET. We don't like that we have a second T so much. And we have VW, which the VW is the focal point. That's what's calling out to me of like, hey, can we use this VW somewhere? Preferably to block off the board. So okay, so that's my rack. What is the actual threat here? All four S's. Not a single S has been played, so we have a pretty easy spot to play an S here. Both blanks are also still played, so any open tile becomes a little scarier just because you can expect that your opponent might have a blank to play through it. So those are my two considerations here. One is I'm looking at my rack. One is I'm looking at the board and thinking about the score. Given that, I kind of feel like a good spot for me to block would be this D. I don't want any bingos coming down to end in the D. I was talking before about English being an inflected language and certain letters love to be the end of words. The D does like to be the final letter in longer words, 8-letter words for sure. So what can I do? I could just play Vita or Vita. I was thinking Vita like this, also playable. This doesn't score very much. But where am I going to score very much here anyway? What about... I don't really have... There's like no great place to score here, unfortunately. Do I have something longer? I don't think so. I also don't really have good parallel plays here. So it might be the case that because I don't have any plays that score super well or do, anything great for my leave, this might be one of these situations where because I don't have plays like that, I can take a turn to make a play that does something really productive for the board shape that I want. And I want to block off a big part of this board with a V. I don't love keeping EEW. Fish for view data to troll Josh. Oh, yes. That was literally my own game with Josh from his last stream. But again, no judgment. I missed Insurer on my last week's stream. All right, if I was going to make a play, right, Fitz? What do you think? Do you want to sit on my lap? If I was going to make a play that kept as good of a leave, as balanced of a leave as I could, I would probably play this, right? So I would undouble my T, undouble my E, and play off a W, which I want to play at least one of my W or V. This does not feel great, though. This is just asking Scrabble to have a bingo here, right? Anything ending in E, ER, ED, any of that is all playable after this play, and it wouldn't have been previously. But if I want to make a play that scores decently well and leaves a balanced set of letters, I could do that. Doesn't feel like what I want to do, though. Is there a play like... Yeah, Vegid? No, I don't think so. All right. It is not... I don't love keeping EEW, but I am going to do this. Okay, well, I just drew a blank. That's very good. And at the very least, I think I'm going to have that as an option. Oh, I have it here too. So for the second time in this game, I have bingos in two spots on the board that are very... I'm gonna go ahead and say impossible to block both of these in one move. If somebody can come up with a way that it is possible to block those in one, I'd be very impressed. I don't think it's possible. So this is something where if you're playing over a live Scrabble board, it's kind of like, on the one hand, you got to be careful, right? So you got to be careful. Ooh, very nice. Lavisher. That's a nice play. So my bingo isn't going to make me that much further ahead. Yeah, it is like a fork in chess where your opponent can see what's coming and there's nothing they can do about it. They have to respond to the fork or they're going to either lose their queen or their rook or something like that. But if you're playing a live Scrabble game and you have bingos in multiple spaces, you can just go like, I'm living like, you can just sit back and whatever tell you want, right? Like poker style. Poker players are always watching each other, his eyebrow twitches when he has a good hand, right? Scrabble players can do that too. But in this situation, I can do whatever I want. There's nothing that my opponent can do to stop me from bingoing. So I'll just play this. I guess I could play it from the R of Lavisher, but it doesn't hit anything. So I'll go ahead and do this. I think it's probably fine. Okay. Staghorn doesn't fit on the board. I don't think I have anything here, but we'll have to see what we get to work with. Over week. Where would that have been? Over week through this R. Oh, it's close, actually. If the K hit in a good spot, it would have been better. I didn't think about over week. So over week through this spot is only... Well, because it would have scored more points because that R is on the bonus square. So over week would have gotten me 2 more points, but it would have exposed a pretty heavy-hitting letter right here. So I would regret that a fair amount of the time. I just didn't even see it. So good shout out, Mitch, on that. Got to look carefully. But yeah, just chilling, sitting back and chilling and being like, oh, I have got a bingo that you can't block. That's not generally good practice because, like, what if you're wrong, right? What if you're incorrect? What if your opponent sees your behavior and says, wow, this guy clearly thinks he's going to bingo. I'm going to come up with some clever way to block everything. You don't want to be wrong in that scenario, basically. As Jeremy asked, do I find myself getting reads from opponents' body language? Absolutely. I definitely have had that happen. You can learn, depending on your opponent, you can learn a ton about the type of letters that they have. And you can absolutely use that to your advantage. So it is, I would say that is not something that's going to pay dividends for you on a super regular basis, but there are absolutely times when you're deciding between two plays that are really, really close, and you can see by their posture that they're super confident, and you can tell they're sitting on something good. Or another thing is some players will shift their rack constantly, right? So for me, I put my tiles in alphabetical order the way you see at the base of the screen. I do exactly this when I'm playing a physical board. On a physical board, I don't touch my tiles. So as soon as they're alphabetized, I don't touch, and I do everything in my brain. Some players don't do that. Some players move stuff around. And if you see somebody moving stuff around and then stop moving stuff around, and they're just sitting there, admiring their handiwork, that's an example of, boy, maybe I should be a little worried. Right, I should be thinking about this. So that's my general response to that. Okay, so there could be some cool stuff here. I feel like this is a cool play. Is this correct, though? This scores 37, making all these overlaps. I think it's not clear to me that a play like that is necessarily better than Torah. GN. So the GN combination is nice, but it really does require that eye to become super powerful and also the right board to become super powerful. There's only 2 eyes to come in this nice big tile bag. There's not that many eyes. So I definitely feel like I'm not that excited about playing Torah just because not only does it not even score as well as Trona in this spot, it also opens up kind of a nice spot there. Lavisher's Hook is also a threat. This part of the board is mostly addressed. The nice thing about Torah, I guess, is that it does close off this area pretty effectively, but I would say that Trona is pretty good too, if only because a lot of the common things that are going to slot here, right? So imagine the board before this. What fits in here? ER, right? ER, ED, EN maybe, who knows, right? MEN. A lot of that stuff no longer fits after Trona. The things that do now fit, though, is S. So what's the trade-off, right? ES, something like that, now fits after Trona, but all that other stuff no longer fits. And I don't open anything new. Okay, let's think about this. Maybe there's a better play. How would that affect my play? So it really, it does depend a lot on the individual situation. I would say the biggest thing you want to do is when your opponent has something nice, right, that they're just sitting and looking at like this, you want to identify what is the spot on the board that is likeliest to be satisfying them in this way, right? So is there a spot on the board like with a vowel right here that they might have something big in that spot? Or is there an E that's open somewhere that's very likely to be the focal point of their bingo? Or is there a scoring spot somewhere here, right? Just trying to figure out what would be inspiring my opponent to behave this way, and then crush those dreams. Got to crush those dreams. Can't let them be emoting on you like that. All right. if I had a play that used G, if this was a word or something like that, I would probably play it. But it's not. So I think this is kind of fun. Oh, man. I'm sure I'm supposed to play Torah here. Am I? GH. GH is just unappealing. Is this a style point play or is this an actual better play? I don't know. I think this is close. I'll play this just because I feel like it opens up very little, closes off a lot. Okay, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I drew well. I have shebang. I have a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm sure I must have some other stuff. At the very least, that's fun. I bet I have more, though. Herbages. That's pretty good. 82. Yeah, William Hung. My name is Will Anderson, but William Hung is the classic American Idol contestant, which you may think of when you see the word shebang. But of course, that is not what that means. It means the whole shebang. Torah must be played right to left. Yeah, very nice. That would be very meta. If any word that's coming from, a non-right to left reading culture, such as Hebrew, has to be played in the reverse order, that would be quite surprising. Yeah, shebang is just, I like that definition. A situation, organization, or matter. Would you, I don't know if I would define a shebang as a matter. I feel like matter is like office speak, where like where are we at on this matter? Where are we at on this shebang? Anyway, I'm in good shape here. I got to see if I have a bingo in this spot. Hold on, I had another. Hey, RTRB, what's going on? Nice to see you. I'm doing well in this game. It's not over yet. We'll just have to see. But of course, I just drew the first blank and then the second one out of the bag. Not much that Scrabble can do about that. First blank is there. Second blank is coming shortly. Am I pointing to the right? Yes, I am. And I guess for me, I'm wanting to come up with a bingo that doesn't play in this area. So something ending in like ES. I don't know if I have that. This is kind of a fun word too. Look at this. Bear hugs. That would be fun. But yeah, it's possible with the right play in this area that Scrabble will buy himself a little more time here. Oh, wow, nice. Ujima flip. Okay, all right, there it is. That's a great play. And you can't say that's a stream snipe either, because look at that, a 43-point X parallel play. It looks phenomenal. That's a great play, regardless. Question is, do I somehow have something through RE? I don't know. So the nice thing is at least I have this to score pretty well in response to that play, and I still have pretty good options for bingoing in the near future. I would not rule out that I have a bingo here. Let me just quickly go through the alphabet here. A, E. So this is I think this is a Collins word. F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. I know the alphabet. T, U, V, W, X, Y, Y? No. Okay. I'm not seeing it, unfortunately. Maybe I have something somewhere, but I am not spotting it yet. So, given that, I'm going to need a plan B. Maybe it's possible I have a 9 through RE, but that's not my forte to see stuff like that. So I think I'm just going to play Hag. It scores pretty well, and I have options elsewhere on the board. All right, surely I have something here. Cubbies. So Cubbies will fit there. That's a reasonable spot for Scrabble to play in, though. So let me just see if I have some other option here. E. Something from the N. Boy, that might be it. Oh, there's cool. This is a cool spot if I could come up with something here. Sibby. Probably not. I don't think there's likely to be anything in there. Boy, it looks like it's Cubbies or nothing. I'm not seeing anything any better than this. So let's hope that stays available. I guess the thing that is working somewhat in my favor here was... Oh, I had Shebang. Wait, what? Oh yeah, no, Shebang would not have fit there. So it would have been A-N-G. Yeah, so unfortunately, yeah, it would not have fit. Right, so Shebang would have played in this spot. So yeah, this R is kind of in the way. Yep, the R, that blank R, that's a very common thing. That's even more likely to happen when you're playing over a physical board, because the blank tile, I was going to see if I had my tiles open, my tile set, but the blanks on a physical board literally have nothing on them. So when you're playing online, you at least see the outline of this R here. But when you're playing over a physical board, the blanks, you don't write on the at least I've never seen the blanks be written on. I'm sure somebody has inadvertently, or not knowing any better, written on a blank when it's been played. But typically what you do is you have a little sheet of paper that you sign when you're playing over the board in a tournament. And Zhu is the play there, and that's going to let me play Cubbies, which should basically seal this up. Yeah, you write the so if I was going to play Cubbies, I would fill out this little slip that I'm writing on it. What are you calling the second blank? What are you calling the first blank? It's the same slip for both, and I would circle the letter. And that is your arbiter. So there have been situations where I remember a game against a good friend of mine, another really strong player. He played this, right? He played something like this, non, and then he played a blank, and he played NONF blank RM. And I said to myself, oh man, that's a great find. He just played non-farm, right? He played non-farm. So I don't even look. I'm just like, oh, this is my reaction to this, and this is why you got to be careful. So I basically went, oh, like this. I didn't even pay attention. Wasn't looking at the blank slip. I just assumed. So then, late in the game, so again, it's something like this. It's something like this. So there's a blank here. I don't know how to represent this. So it's like blank. Okay, so blank tile, there. Okay, so late in the game, I had a J. I think I had a J. And I'm sitting there with the J, and this is an NWL game, so Ya is not valid. So I can't play JA. So I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, oh man, all this is obstructed, right? There's nowhere good to play my J. And after the game, my opponent says to me, I'm like, good game. It was, really good. I really had nothing I could do with that J, so I was in trouble at the end there. And he goes, why didn't you just play Joe here? And I said to myself, what? What are you talking about? And he says, yeah, you could have played Joe in that spot. And I said to myself, oh no, you played non-form, didn't you? You played non-form, and I didn't notice. If I had just looked at what letter you circled on the blank slip, I would have challenged this word off, and you would not have bingoed in that spot. Instead, you would have lost your turn. I didn't even look. I didn't even look at I didn't even look at the tile that he designated. So I just lost a game that I easily could have won if I was just paying attention. Yeah, the only vowel that goes in that spot is the A. And I didn't even think to myself, what else could it be? So ever since that moment, I look every time. I don't care. I look every time, and if my opponent does the wrong thing, then that has happened a couple times where my opponent has made the wrong designation, and it's never good to challenge that, but it doesn't feel great to force your opponent to lose a turn in those situations. But it's a tournament. You have that right to challenge that off. Okay, so I just drew this. I don't know if I'll be able to play this anywhere. Add nouns. You can be forgiven if you never learned what an add noun is in English class as a kid. What is an add noun? I don't know, but apparently it is something. An adjective used as a noun. There you go. So don't forget your add nouns class. I don't think I have anywhere to play this, but you never know. I might get a spot. So let's see. Have I missed anything in chat? Going back a little bit. Oh, Ololiuki. That word's been queried. That crazy looking word. That's definitely a bucket list word for a lot of us. Ololiuki. I guess I shouldn't say a lot of us. I would say a very low number. A very low number of people in general have Scrabble, playing a particular Scrabble word on their bucket list in life, right? Like what is an item that's typically on somebody's bucket list? Like traveling to somewhere, traveling to somewhere cool, traveling to Europe, traveling to Asia. My bucket list is playing Ololiuki in a game of Scrabble. Well, why can't it be both, right? We can have both be on our bucket list. Nope. Tiles should be connected indeed. All right. Well, this was a very close game for quite a while. Many, many turns into this game. It was back and forth. But poor Scrabbub, I drew both blanks, one after the other. What? What is this? Bullying? Wow. Automod wants you to not be able to say shill. Yeah, shill definitely a word. Yes, I do have girl. So this is another great difference between the dictionaries, right? So you have GRRL is UK English only, but GRRRL is US English. Why? Why 3 R's is the acceptable spelling and not 2? I mean, I have seen it more often spelled with 3, so that's a fair reason of why that would be. But clearly, it's not a term that has a historically agreed upon spelling. Yeah, so shill is a word, shall, shell, all of those are words. Yeah, so I think pattern is something like this. Does this do it? Yeah, okay, so you can always say pattern and it will do that for you. The bot has a bunch of commands. I should probably make those more obvious or accessible what those commands are. Okay, so let's not belabor this too far. I don't think I have a great play through any of these. That's kind of a fun little spot. I don't know if this gives me an outplay though. This is no better. Okay, let's not worry too much about this. It would be nice to play 3 tiles here if I could, but I'm not sure I can. Sure, let's do this. Because at least it forces Scrabbub to block lore. Yeah, no commands, I guess. All right, and that's it for this one. So, what can you do? Hold on, let me not. This is the better way to view this. So, this game was very close, a back and forth battle throughout. But then I drew blank 1, blank 2, and then a third bingo, and that's just too much firepower. I saw the chat pip just go up, but I'm not seeing Scrabbub's chat, so that could be another timestamp for me to pay attention to. If Scrabbub just sent me a chat, I wasn't able to see it there. But I'll send him a GG, and maybe that helps. For sure. Thank you very much for the game yourself, Scrabbub. It was totally even. It was very, very close. And as I said, I just started drawing a whole bunch of good stuff. Yeah, one more is. I'm happy to do one more. We'll call it a stream. If anybody wants to get in, Dustin, if you're looking to get your daily fix, there it is. Okay, taking a challenge from Dustin. English US 15 minutes. And again, I just feel like this is not what this is just not what poor Dustin, right? So he could potentially make a play where I can't get this down, but that's just unlucky, right? Dustin keeps challenging me, he's challenging Axer Typo, Josh on his streams. And this is just dumb luck for me to have this on my rack. So depending on what Dustin does, I have a pretty massive play, and he exchanges. So what can you do? I'm going to put my X down on the double letter, and the whole thing scores 96. Not much to think about here. Hey, Mitch. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. It really is actually a pleasure to be here, and also to sort of have brought Josh in as well. Hope you guys are all enjoying when Josh pops on this channel. Of course, on his own streams as well over at Axer Typo, where he plays all kinds of stuff. This is at the start it's a little repetitive. We're popping on. Oh, very nice. Rationed. We're popping onto Twitch. We're playing a little Scrabble on PlayScrabble.com. But in the future, hopefully the relatively near future, there's going to be more over-the-board Scrabble coverage, more online tournaments once we get that feature up and running, which we're very excited about. That's going to be fun. So hopefully we start to get more variety, and this channel feels really vibrant and exciting for anybody that is into Scrabble and hopefully word games and gaming in general. All right, so with that optimistic note of the future, inspired by Mitch's kind comment, hello to Best, by the way. Nice to see you. Perhaps I'll see you on the Babel field at some point soon. All right, what to do now? So I bingoed, but so did Dustin. And gotta see what... so the thing that's coming to mind is this. Just playing this. I see what you guys are saying about Exalted. I don't think there's anything with that. Let me turn off my Slack notifications for a second. I feel like you guys can hear when I'm getting messaged, which is fine, but it's distracting me. All right, so daughter to an R, not going to fit on the board. Do I have anything else? I don't think so. So this is kind of a nice looking play just because I don't think this is that scary. I think it's going to be very difficult to figure out a way to hit this spot super hard just because only the B is going to be on here that does anything. And how would you even fit that through? Then also there's this spot, which isn't very good just because GI cuts it off pretty well. Hey, Closo20, good question. That is a good question. I don't have a definitive answer for you on that other than that is one of the projects that I'm working on behind the scenes. I actually have to talk to you about another project that is not Kingston that I'm working on behind the scenes. Yeah, at some point, once I'm done with this and have done some other stuff, we'll get to that. All in good time. But yeah, we'll see. Definitely hopeful to get some more. And it seems like I would say chances are pretty good. I don't know. It's hard to say. I am certainly hopeful. I'm going to be working on it. All right, let's play this. It seems pretty good. TED is a nice leave. I hope I didn't miss anything there. This looks kind of good, but I don't think so. I don't think I have a bingo here. But let me just look a little more. At the very least, I can do something like this. That's pretty good. Maybe there's something shorter that keeps even more bingo tiles together here. Maybe just this. No, I don't think that's better than study, I would say. Oh, maybe there's no. Restudy. Restudy is valid, but this is not how you would pluralize that. All right, we'll see. It's definitely gonna, this spot is going to draw Dustin's eye, and I do expect that if he has a good play there, it's gonna go down, and then I'll have to figure out something else. Whatever I do, the tiles that I want to get rid of are UY. These are the tiles that are stopping the rest of my bingo tiles from coming together really powerfully. So actually, you know what? This would be a great play. But again, I don't think it's going to stay open for me. So we'll see. We'll see what I get to work with. The Slack. Yeah, sorry, Jess Bunzo. Sorry for anyone that is on any Slack for work or for whatever other reason. I apologize for that. There's muscle memory that goes into doing a stream. There's always stuff that you can forget. You can forget to look at your microphone volume. You can forget to look at the desktop audio volume. You can forget to mute all your notifications and all that sort of thing. Ooh, okay. So Fob, that looks like a great play, getting rid of some good scoring tiles. Do I have, I think it's probably, I should be playing study here. ES. Couldn't ask for much better than ES to start a rack with. For bingoing, at least with 2 tiles. I could ask for, 6 tiles that are really close to bingoing, but then again, I wouldn't be scoring 30 points. So I think this seems reasonable, again, unless I'm missing something. And there you have it. So this is what we like to see. I am quite sure that there will be other stuff. At the very least, this is available, and then stuff like Polarize or the anagram Pelorias. So a couple different options. HO, it has some really sneaky hooks for sure. A lot of those hooks are not easy to remember. In particular, MHO, Mo, and F are both a little tricky. Okay, nice play. That's a really nice overlapping play by Dustin. So one of these times he's gonna win, but Exalted to start the game is just such a heavy blow for me. All right, hold on. Is this valid in this? I don't think so. Oh, it is. 64. I think Peloria's is clearly better. I don't have a great place to play Soapier that doesn't expose a lot of activity. 67. I don't love the idea of making a good scoring spot like this. I feel like that is something I can absolutely avoid by playing Pelorias and also scoring even better, 1 point better. This scoring spot has much lower upside than this one would. So unless I'm missing something, we're going to go ahead and play this. And okay, there's a blank. Lola says back to meetings. Yes. Yeah, I have to say mea culpa. I did say that I was going to do a stream on, I think I streamed last Thursday. And I said I was going to try to stream, or I said I would stream on Friday and start with a big long cat cam, and I did not do that. So once again, I continue to be all talk, no stream. But at some point, there will be a redemptive cat cam experience on my own channel at Wanderer 15. Yeah, the Octothorpe does mean Collins only. That is what the Soapier ST is another. So ST is a Collins only one. So that one was not available here either. And I know it's annoying to try to parse out what words can I play and what can I not, especially if you are coming into word games from Babel Royale, where that's your frame of reference. So, I was talking about it earlier where it's sort of facts of life in word games, is that there is no ruling lexicon that everybody is familiar with equally. It's fragmented, a lot of different options, not just within Scrabble. In the sum total of all word games, a lot of different lexicons are in use, and it's tough to keep them all straight for sure. Wordnik, the Babel Royale dictionary, is definitely closer to Collins. So you'll see in the short words, a lot of those words from Collins are valid, if not all. I mean, basically, I rarely am disappointed in a short word that I think should be good in that game not being good as a Collins player. That being said, I play a lot of different word games, and I switch back and forth, probably more than most are willing or able to do. And as long as my brain is able to do that, for as long as my brain is able to switch back and forth, I'm very happy to do that and play whichever dictionary people would prefer. Yes, if you are a Babel Royale player first and foremost, it will be an easier transition for you by far into Scrabble to start by playing the Collins dictionary. You're gonna notice all those two-letter words, ST, CH, FY, all of those things that you are used to from Babel Royale will be playable. Whereas if you were to play the US dictionary, it would be a little bit more hit and miss. You would still be able to do it if you played it with word validation, right? So if you played in such a way that any word that you tried was automatically being checked, you could get away with it, but it would still be annoying sometimes to see plays that you feel like you should be able to play, but yet you can't. All right, is it worth playing something like this for 40? So this is crazy, right? The blank is a tile that you really want to bingo with, right? That's what I like to use the blank for. But ultimately, what the blank is actually for is increasing the score of your play by like 30 or 40 points beyond what you normally could get. So in this situation, I have a Q. The Q sucks. Anyone from Babel Royale. I love Babel Royale so much because it's teaching a generation of new word game players how much the Q sucks. So the Q, and look at it, it's 10 points. How could the Q suck, right? How could it be so bad? The answer, and I should plug my Better Know a Letter series while I'm at it. I go through the whole reasoning. Why? Why is it so bad? The reason it's so bad is because no letter should be so dependent on any other letter in the alphabet that you cannot use it effectively without that letter, right? So yes, the J, the Z, the X, those are worth a lot of points. They're not in very many words, just like the Q, but none of those letters require another letter almost exclusively the way the Q requires the U, to the point where, the Q the list of Q words without a U is like this sacred list that you have to know, right? There is no list like that for any other letter. And there's a reason for that. It's because the Q sucks, right? There should never be a list that is so finely targeted in that way. So the Q sucks. So I want to play the Q here. And the best thing that I can do with the Q is probably this, or if I want to use one of my two S's to improve my chances of drawing a vowel, this might be it, right? Like, where else can I play the Q without using my blank? So that we got 12 points in the bank. Now, if I do play choirs, right? Let's say I play choirs. So we're going from a starting point of 12. We can go up to 41. That is an additional that is a very, very big increase and almost a 30-point increase. And wouldn't you know it, the blank is roughly valued in the mid to high 20s in terms of when you have the blank, how much higher than usual are you going to score if you are a really, really good player that knows a lot of words and has trained to see bingos? Well, it's typically about, I think it's something like 28, I think, or maybe it's lower, maybe it's in the lower 20s. Either way, even if it's in the upper 20s, I'm getting enough points by adding the blank here that this is probably worth playing. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, even though this looks real weird to burn the blank like that. Just speak for the reasons that I just described. Where's strategy? Yeah, well, to Kenji, this is probably like child's play. You know, Kenji is so advanced strategically. I don't think he would have much to add, or maybe he would think I'm wrong in that analysis. But but this would not. I don't think this would get Kenji's motor running. It'd have to be another layer of complexity to get him excited. All right, what are people saying here? I love X. Every vowel hooks off of it. Some people are saying I know Q being terrible, but I did learn how bad I is. Yes, that is another thing. Tell us what the blank is worth to the, yeah. So the I have somewhere here, actually, a graphic that I made. Ooh, very nice. MC, that scores quite well. Do I have, I don't think I, like, specifier. Like someone who's specifier, not quite. But hold on a second. I have a good drawing that should show the... Here, let me see if this works. Okay. So here is my... Let me see if this works here. Show the screen cap. Okay. So this is something I made for one of my YouTube videos. Number of bingos with duplicated vowels, right? So we know the E is good. We know the A is not as good as the E, but still pretty good, right? So here are the number of bingos with duplicated vowels. The I actually kind of holds its own. It's not that different from the A. But look what happens when you go to short words. Short words, which are the crux of Babel Royale, right? It's not that often that you're going to play super long words and bingos in Babel Royale. The short words are the bread and butter of that game. Look at how terrible the I is when duplicated compared to the A's and the O's and the E's. So if you have a gut feeling that the I sucks when duplicated, you're right. It's because there are very few words that contain multiple I's, and when you have the I's, they just rot on your rack like garbage. So that is another great lesson to learn. Oops. About the I. So Babel teaching us all very, very useful lessons about how letters mesh together. All of those types of things are things that we can sort of know by instinct, but when you actually get into the lexicon and look more carefully, you see all of those instincts tend to be confirmed by the actual numbers. Oh, look at this. I wasn't even thinking about plays up here. What if there's like officer? I want to play like officer. But faw is a word, so like I wonder if I might have missed stuff up there. Probably not, because OR with a consonant in between is very difficult to work with. All right, I gotta pay attention to my time. My time. Should I play something like Rift, setting up my E? If Dustin doesn't have an E, this spot will be completely inaccessible. I don't love this play, but we're gonna play it. Ooh. Okay, not great. Not great letters. Thanks for the lesson, Will. Yes. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, that's the type of stuff that I sort of knew a lot of that stuff, again, just by playing a lot before. But that was part for me when I was doing, and I keep saying I wish I could get back to it, but I have enough stuff I'm working on in word game world that I haven't yet felt super motivated to use my free time to do more YouTube videos and stuff like that. But at some point I want to finish off that series. And the thing that I found really fun about doing the Better Know a Letter videos on my YouTube channel is like stuff like that, like confirming my suspicions about how letters behave and how letters mesh with one another. I found some surprising things too, like things that I actually learned for the first time by doing that series, which is weird to say because, I mean, you would think I don't have that much to learn about Scrabble, but I never ceased to be amazed by the fact that there is always more to learn, right? So it's a little daunting. Maybe it's a little daunting that you cannot really reasonably most people cannot master this game in a lifetime, but I love that about Scrabble, that I can win a national championship in Scrabble and still be learning more about it all the time. And I hope to continue learning. Never want to stop. So anyway, I'm up by over 100 here. I burnt my blank. I think it's probably fine. Do I have a fit? Oh man, okay. So Dustin going for the gold here with Rove. So he's saying I'm going for it. So of course I have a P in addition to a T. So I have a couple different things that are going to be bad news for him here. So I could just play temp for 54. Do I not? This isn't. Contempo is a word, not this. Yeah, not much to think about for me here. I think it's either sep or temp. This would be 51. It only uses 3 tiles. This would be 54, uses 4 tiles. That gives me another chance, more chances at drawing blanks. So we'll go ahead and do that. And of course, I drew codings, which I actually think codings. Raj comes down pretty quick. I think codings is Collins only. Not that I don't think it plays anywhere anyway. Co-signed, co-design, cognized. Okay, so I have a bunch of things here. So that'll do the trick. Oh my God, look at this. I mean, this is just insane. Poor Dustin. I mean, this is bonkers. Every time he takes me or Josh on Play Scrabble, he just gets hosed. Like, we always draw the blanks. We always draw the good stuff. So, poor guy. He's going to get us one of these days, and he'll deserve all of his props when he gets there. I really appreciate all the challenges that Dustin sends out. But anyway, this game I'm drawing too well. Favorite Scrabble fact. Let me think about that. So, best, when you say that, do you mean something about like the meta game of Scrabble in general, or about a specific word, or I never know how to answer the questions. Hey Gertie, what's going on? Nice to see you. I never know how to answer questions like, and what is your favorite word? What is your favorite? Oh, I can actually do this. Be like, so what is your favorite word that you like the most in the Scrabble dictionary? Like, And when I get asked stuff like that, I mean, I should say "ay now." I can definitely say ah. But when I get asked stuff like that, I think to myself, like, nobody goes up to like Magnus Carlsen and it's like, so Magnus, what is your favorite chess piece? What's your favorite chess piece? Tell us. You know, what is he supposed to say? The queen, the king? I like the king because my king dies, I lose the game, right? Like, what do you say to that? I feel like for some reason, because Scrabble has so many words, that you, as a Scrabble player, you should have a favorite word, which I absolutely don't think about the words that way at all. What is my favorite chess piece? Nice. All right, that's a lot of points. But now I can do like Wizened and stuff too. What's better. Wizened is 95. Webzine is 99. 99. Yeah, I guess this is fine. Maybe there's something better, but whatever. We're going to do this. So yeah, favorite number, favorite all of this stuff. Yeah, favorite Scrabble fact is that kids have to memorize the banned word list. Yes, absolutely. That's, that's Dustin, I'm so sorry. I apologized to you on stream. Yes. So, yeah, I mean, the whole word thing, that's a whole can of worms that I think, not to get too mired down in that, but I certainly think people have played words that are now banned without any kind of negative intent possible, and there are many, many arguments that you can use either way to say, it's crazy to get rid of the words, or it's crazy that we've had these words in. The thing that I am always thinking about is, how does our game look to people from other gaming subcultures, right? Or to the external world at large. And obviously this is, this is going to border on like a political statement anytime you're getting into that, because people with different worldviews are going to view that very differently. But I did an interview and again, as I said, different worldviews, different opinions, but I was interviewed about the Lexicon thing by a reporter from The Daily Show. And I was going into it with the intent of basically showing that both sides of the argument had very valid reasons for believing that either the words should stay as they are or that the words should come out. And it became clear to me very quickly in this interview that, how on The Daily Show, if anybody's ever watched that, like they interview kind of ludicrous people, silly people, and they show how dopey they are. It became clear to me quickly that I was occupying that role in this interview, that I was the silly person because I was even attempting to justify that something like the N-word would still be playable. So that was like, as soon as I detected that, which I detected very fast because I've seen a lot of The Daily Show to know that. I hope I didn't miss a bingo. As soon as I detected that, it sort of dawned on me that, like, if you're not a dyed-in-the-wool word game player, this might be more cut and dried than I had realized, right? Like, if you play a lot of word games, you know that these are just our playing pieces. You know that there is no syntactic value to playing a word. But if you aren't in our subculture, it's not that obvious, right? It's not that obvious to you that the words are just playing pieces and they're divorced from meaning completely and all of that stuff. So I think about that, and I think about, like, the fact also that it is kind of a non-starter from a pragmatic point of view. The brand holders of this game, and yes, it is annoying at times that there are brand holders. Unlike chess, you can do whatever you want, but this game is the intellectual property of different, organizations and companies. and they've made their opinion very clear about what they want in the official lexicons for this game. So we can debate until we're blue in the face, but that doesn't change that basic reality of that this debate is kind of already decided, assuming you actually want to call what you're doing Scrabble and want to get support from those organizations. So I have lots of sympathy for arguments on both sides, but that's sort of as much as I'm willing to say about all of that stuff. Persimet linked the article featuring my video. Yes, I have. Not that I've ever posted this for any public consumption, but I have the full 2-hour-long interview that I did with The Daily Show that got cut to like 10 seconds of airtime. So I don't know if I signed anything that forbids me from like posting that on YouTube, but I have it. So somewhere. Yeah. Tableau, not quite. Yeah, Tableau would be a cool play. I don't quite have that. So I would have had more time if I sounded more crazy. I'm sure that's absolutely correct. Banned list is interesting. Some are obviously bad. Some are harmless slang and slurs and others. Yep, that's true. That's definitely true. There's a lot of words are not universally, considered to be, vulgar, but to be as I guess there's this idea of to be as inclusive as possible. If a significant enough people view something to be offensive, it's hard to ignore. All right, let's see if we can make a decent play here. Play ball and Raja or something like that. Hey, thanks for the follow. I actually can't. The updates are not good enough for me to see on screen. Hold on. Oh, it's best with the follow. Okay, thank you very much. We got to make those alerts a little more visible to me. Oh, I definitely should not have taken a time penalty there. Let's play Blinn. I don't think that was necessarily a good play, but we're just looking to... Maybe I'll play that next turn. Okay, Lingo, and then we'll play Ta. Okay, so that does it for that game. Poor Dustin. He hung in there a little bit, but I drew too well. He was going for the tie. He's going for the flag. Didn't quite work out. Yes. Cost me 10 points. Yeah, the two Vs. Yep, Rove and Vina went down one after the other in the mid-game for sure. So, okay. That's going to do it for me. We've done our 2 hours of Scrabble streaming. So the next this channel will go live will be Thursday. I'm pretty sure that Josh will be on for his usual Thursday segment, which should be a lot of fun. Appreciate you guys. I think something I'm going to do now, I know that most of us here are word gamers, but I think what I'm going to do is raid Eric Rosen. And the reason I want to do that is just to see Eric's reaction to this raid. I don't know if Eric is aware that this channel exists. We might be able to get Eric. Everyone ask Eric his favorite chess piece. Oh God, please don't troll him too hard. Eric is too gentle of a soul for us to troll him in this way. But I think, I'm not sure if Eric knows that this channel exists, and I think his audience is very Scrabble friendly just because Eric is an incredibly good Scrabble player for someone that's, to my knowledge, has not competed over a board very much, if at all. Quite amazing. Eric is just a natural gamer. Also, for those that have seen him play Babel Royale, he got extremely good at that game very quickly too. So Eric is a chess international master, but certainly no stranger to word gaming, and I'm eager to see what his reaction is to getting a raid from Scrabble itself. So anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. Really appreciate the good vibes on the stream today. Thanks to all the challengers, whether that's Scrabbub, Dustin, Lola. Appreciate all you guys sending me challenges on the site. And I'll see you guys next week on this channel, same time, and maybe on Wanderer 15 before that. All right. Bye, guys.